So this was not a video I was expecting to make. I had two or three other videos lined up ready to record, but this takes priority. I don't need to explain. By now you probably all know what happens. Helena Taylor, the voice actress for Bayonetta in the first two games, she came out and finally explained why she didn't return for Bayonetta 3. Ever since 2018, we'd been wondering whether she was coming back. She kept making all these cryptic tweets about how fans would have to imagine not hearing her as Bayonetta and imagine someone else in the role. It seemed uncertain if she would ever come back, and then obviously we heard the new voice actress in the September 2021 trailer for the game, and then just a couple of days ago we heard that Jennifer Hale was the new voice actress, and now everything is laid bare. Platinum Games offered Helena Taylor $4,000 to voice the entire game, a flat out rate. To be honest with you, even though I'm an actor myself, I've only done small local stuff, right? But I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about the situation, about this amount of money. But this seems to be a really low amount of money, and Helena Taylor obviously found it very insulting, and so she's obviously taken to Twitter to vent her frustrations and has asked everyone to boycott Bayonetta 3. And this has caused a huge stir online, as you can imagine, because now we're 2 weeks out from the game's release and we have this big controversy. And to make matters worse, Hideki Kamiya responded immediately and started blocking everyone on Twitter and all these fans, and he eventually got banned. His account got banned because he's been blocking so many people. So it has been a weird 24 hours for Bayonetta 3. It's just really toxic online at the moment, but I wanted to put my thoughts out in this situation because I'm pretty torn about this. Obviously, I've been talking about Bayonetta 3 for a while now. I first heard about Bayonetta in 2018 after I got a Switch, and everyone was talking about their hype for Bayonetta 3, and the first two games came to Switch. They looked interesting. I picked them up. Bayonetta 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. I fell in love with this game. And then obviously I fell into the hype for Bayonetta 3, and I did many videos predicting when we'd see trailers and stuff, and it was an arduous wait to get all the information. So to go through all of that, all this excitement building and speculation to get to a point where the game is in this serious situation, it's strange. Having watched Helena Taylor's videos and having seen Hideki Kamiya's response, I'm torn, to be completely honest with you. I already said Bayonetta 2 is one of my favorite games. Platinum as a company, I've liked almost all of their games so far, bar the wonderful 101. So this is really kind of changing my view of them in a bit. Right now, I'm unsure whether I can support Platinum, which probably sounds hypocritical because right now I'm currently playing through Nier Automata on Switch, but this is unacceptable what happened with Helena Taylor. And I already thought Bayonetta 3 doesn't look great. All the trailers we've seen so far, I always thought it looked low budget. There was something going on. Why did we have such a massive downgrade in graphical quality from Bayonetta 2? Bayonetta 2 looked gorgeous, really realistic and detailed and coloured, and Bayonetta 3 is flat and textureless and dull. It seems to confirm suspicions that there is a drop in the budget for this game, and that's probably what led to them offering Helena Taylor such low money. Because think about it, Platinum a couple of years ago had to crowdfund the wonderful 101. So it seems like Platinum as a company are in some sort of financial issues. Bear in mind their recent game, Babylon's Fall, was a complete disaster. And it was a gotcha live service type game, so kind of expected they would go for that, and obviously people weren't happy about it. But I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on. Obviously there's some situation with Platinum behind closed curtains there, but as for how I feel about this situation, I am on Helena Taylor's side. I feel for her. I don't think this is acceptable. Kamiya is being a complete dickhead right now, but we've yet to see a response from Platinum. And on the one hand, I do kind of want to boycott this game in favor of Helena Taylor, but at the same time, what about all the other artists and designers and developers who worked their asses off in this game? They deserve to have their work recognized, and you know, also the fan aspect of this, being a fan of this series and having waited 5 years for this new game. There's those two elements, but even just from the supporting the developers and the artists point of view, what about all those people who their work is going to go unnoticed? Do they deserve to have this happen to them? This isn't their fault. So it's a tricky situation, and I'm unsure, to be honest with you. I haven't made my mind up. I'm juggling it back and forth. As I said, Bayonetta 2 is one of my favorite games ever. I was really excited for 3. So I suppose in one respect, it does help that the game looks disappointing to me. It kind of makes it easier for me to decide if I don't want the game. But on the other hand, like, as I said, what about all the other voice actors who put all their talent and effort into this game? Do they deserve to get dragged down with this as well? And obviously the big question is, will this have an effect? Boycotts generally don't have an effect on games. When someone asks for a boycott, the exact opposite happens. The game shoots up and becomes more successful. We're technically seeing that with Bayonetta 3 because on Amazon it shot up into like the top 10 most pre-ordered games or whatever. So for every person that's boycotting it, there's like 2 more that are buying copies again. But what you have to bear in mind is that this isn't a really lucrative franchise. The Bayonetta games, both of them sold like 1 million copies. They struggled to reach 1 million. 6 million people watched Helen Taylor's videos. That's more than the people who've bought the first 2 games, right? So, you can't sit there and tell me this won't have an effect on Bayonetta 3's sales. If the game's already struggled to reach 1 million, imagine the damage this is going to do now. They'll probably get 800,000, 900,000. I don't think they'll reach 1 million. Yeah, it's on the Switch, there's the install base, and there's the hype from Platinum's other titles and all that. So there is other factors there, but I think there will be a noticeable stall in sales with Bayonetta 3. And what will that mean? I think it's safe to say this Bayonetta 3 will probably be the last Bayonetta game, at least for a while. This is Platinum's main franchise. They've been struggling. Everyone has been saying that Bayonetta is like their last hope or whatever. I never bought into that kind of, crazy speculation, but this is their main franchise. And if this goes down, Platinum are in big trouble. Helena put out the theory that maybe they'll do a spin-off with Jean or something, and maybe it'll be Viola since she's like the main character in Bayonetta 3 or whatever. And they might do that, if Bayonetta 3 fails, rather than go into Bayonetta 4, they might do a spin-off, and who knows how successful that'll be. But I think we could be looking at the end of the Bayonetta franchise for the time being. I think this will have at least a small effect, and enough of an effect that Nintendo and Platinum are going to start sweating. I worry for Helena Taylor because, as we know, Nintendo are ruthless. She broke an NDA to reveal all this information. Nintendo will destroy her. Of course they will. She's already stricken with poverty, she said, and Nintendo are just going to go for the throat. Nintendo, especially if the boycotts have an effect on sales. Nintendo and Platinum, they're going to tear her to shreds, and I feel really bad for her. Her career is definitely over as a result of this. Obviously, we've yet to see a response from Platinum or Nintendo. At the time of recording this video, the most recent update has just been about Kamiya being banned from Twitter or whatever. So right now, we'll see if during the week Platinum put out a response or anything. I feel like they might try and sweep it under the rug. I don't know. It depends on how big this situation gets. A lot of mainstream news articles are starting to pick it up. Everywhere you go where the name Bayonetta is mentioned, this whole fiasco is coming up. So Platinum are going to have a hard time avoiding this. So I think they will have to put some sort of a statement out there, especially after what happened with Camilla on Twitter. One last thing I want to add is about Nintendo in particular. A lot of people are putting some blame on Nintendo and stuff, and maybe they do have some blame, but this is all Platinum's fault at the end of the day. Helena Taylor didn't mention Nintendo at all. She specifically called out Platinum Games and Hideki Kamiya. There is no mention of Nintendo. Platinum are the ones who actually have to hire the voice actors and pay them, so this isn't really Nintendo's fault. They don't have much to be blamed for in this situation. I think people who are going after Nintendo are kind of missing the bigger picture here. It's Platinum Games. I hope things can smoothen out. I don't know how the situation's going to go. To be honest with you, I don't believe the boycott will have much of an effect. I think the game will still sell 1 million, maybe 2 million. I don't know. It'll just be slightly stalled from its full potential. And I think they'll try and spin it off in some way so they can avoid the controversy with having Jennifer Hale as the voice actress for Bayonetta. I don't know. But in terms of myself, I'm undecided. Right now, I'm playing through Nier Automata. That's taken up a lot of my time, so I probably won't even be finished that by the time Bayonetta 3 releases. So I guess I don't have to worry about picking up Bayonetta 3 on launch day. I can take some time to think about what I want to do here. Whether you want to boycott the game or not, that is entirely up to you. But I think we can all agree what happened with Helena Taylor is very sad, very unacceptable, and Platinum need to get their shit together. And yeah, that's my thoughts on this whole situation. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. How do you feel about this whole situation with Helena Taylor asking fans to boycott Bayonetta 3? Do you agree with her? Do you stand in solidarity with her? Are you boycotting Bayonetta 3? Are you still going to buy the game? I want to hear everything you have to say down in the comment section below. And yeah, with that all said, thank you all for watching and please subscribe. Novus Corvis out.